Welcome
Welcome.
to Experiment 1.11. Today we're going to find the sensitivity of the balance. So this lab is two parts. So first we're going to mass the mass of the penny and that of the stopper. I'm going to do both 3 times, and he's going to record it. I'm not going to look, and then we're going to switch. So first I'm going to make sure it's at 0. And I'm going to place the penny on the scale without looking. Mr. Samayan is going to record the mass. And then I'm going to put the stopper on the scale without looking at the mass. And Mr. Samayan is going to record. Make sure it's on 0. Put the penny on. Again, Mr. Samayan always records the mass. Stopper. Penny. And stopper. Then you switch.
So now we're going to do the same thing, except we switch roles. So I'm going to put the penny on the balance. Mr. Pappas is going to record the mass. I'm going to put the stopper on the balance. Penny. Stopper. Is that 2? Penny. And stopper.
Then compare results.
So the first thing that we did was we cut out a piece of graph paper that is 20 squares by 20 squares. So we have a total of 400 squares of graph paper here. I'm going to find the mass of these 400 squares of graph paper in order to determine the mass of 1 square of graph paper. Now that I know the mass of my 400 squares of graph paper, I can calculate the mass of 1 square of graph paper. Once I know the mass of 1 square of graph paper, I want to create groups of squares that are equal to between 0.03 grams and 0.07 grams.
So after we found the mass of one of our pieces of graph paper, or individual squares, we found the mass to fall outside of the range. We found it to be 0.022. So we want our individual pieces of graph paper to be in between 0.003 and 0.007. So instead of having 1, we needed to make groups of 2. So each one of these now is equal to 0.044 grams, which is actually in our range of in between 0.003 and 0.007. So what you want to do is you want to put a stopper on the scale, and you want to add our individual 2 pieces of graph paper one at a time, and you want to record if there was a change in mass or not. Again, record if there was a change in mass. If there was, write yes, and then the new mass. If there wasn't, write no, and then the same mass. And you do this until you put 10 pieces of graph paper on the stopper.